organization. And the mission is that we can raise awareness so that you don't become victims of any form of sexual abuse.
Globally, about 19.7% of girls, 19.7% of girls are sexually abused.
Child sexual abuse is when any adult touches you inappropriately.
Is it direct or indirect?
Innocent as was fondling the child's breast.
She said because she did not report it, it continued.
You bleed. Sometimes you bleed. Sometimes there are discharges that comes out.
When the person who access to you, what you have to do, don't take your bath. Don't shower.
Once you can bath yourself, your private parts are for you only.
So people who saw that, and suddenly you are they say, man,
Hiya, my name's Brooke. I'm a volunteer for Machendise, which is an organisation that helps advocate against childhood sexual abuse. During this time, whilst we're in lockdown, we recognise that some of our young people may be subject and vulnerable to abuse, so we have a lineup of educative programmes for the season. We welcome you to join us with our life coach, Sasanda, on Heritage TV for a thought-provoking discussion. This will be at 6 p.m. on the 20th of June, where we'll be discussing to visit our website www.amacares.org for any more updates. Thank you.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, lovely to have you back again with us. Thank you so much. As usual, you are here on Heritage TV and is hanging out with Vicky. Today I have with me Amacares organization. Today they have a representative to speak to us about purpose, legacy, power. And our special guest is no other person. I think she's been with us before. Sasanda CJ. Hello, Sasanda.
Hello, Vicky. Hi.
How are you? Nice to catch up with you again.
Yes, it's so lovely to be again. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm really looking forward to today because it's such a topic that when it came up, I told myself I don't really have a clue. So I believe that a lot of people will be inspired, encouraged and educated on today's topic. For the benefit of those who, for the first time seeing you on this program, even though you've been with us before, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with the Amacares project.
Yes, so my name is Sasanda CJ, and after overcoming being raped by my own father, I fortunately managed to find purpose in my pain. So I learned that my purpose is to empower and support others to get past their past so they can live in the fullness of who they were created to be. So one way I live out my purpose is by actually being a transformational speaker, sharing my story with other people. And that's how I came across Amma, who is the founder of Amacares. Amacares is a non-profit organization that advocates against child sex abuse. So naturally, we just fit together and we've just been going well ever since, getting stronger and just fighting child sex abuse and just doing everything that we can to set people free from the chains of their past and make sure that they can live a more fulfilled life.
Wonderful, wonderful, Sisenda. Now going straight to the topic. If you talk about purpose, legacy, power, what is it as related to the vision of Amakers?
So firstly, I just want to, if we can kind of just touch base on what exactly is purpose. And purpose is the thing that allows you to be on this earth, because we're all created for a reason. We are all placed on this earth for a reason. So the fact that you're still alive, still breathing, that in itself already tells me that there is still things that you need to fulfill. There is still things that God has placed on the inside of you that He's saying, hold on, I need to keep giving her breath every single day because she needs to fulfill this reason that I placed her on this earth for. And I have found that it is incredibly powerful to find purpose in your pain. See, with Amma Cares, I know the founder Amma because herself also is a survivor of child sex abuse, and she found purpose in her pain because she understands what it means to be abused. She understands how it affects children. She understands how it can even affect your adulthood. And she overcame, and now she's doing the best that she can to help others overcome as well, hence Amma Cares. And so, because you know what it's like, you know the pain, it puts you in a much better position, a very unique position, to be able to reach out to those other people that are going through the same thing. And for me, I always say, I went through what I went through, so you don't have to go through it. For whatever you're going through, there's somebody else who's going through it, but better yet, there is somebody else who's already overcome that thing. And that's where Amma Cares comes in.
Great. Okay. Viewers, if you want to join in the discussion or send your questions on this topic, our studio line is 0203 9833553. The number again is 0203 9833553. You can also send your questions to all our social media handles, especially Facebook, YouTube, and I'll be able to intercept it and forward your questions to Sisanda to go into it for us. Sisanda, what are some of the things to guide you in finding your purpose? Because I, for instance, finding my purpose, some of the few guidelines that I had that led me to my purpose was, one, helping others, surrounding myself with positive people, explore my interests, and discover what I have to do. These are some of the few things. What is your idea about some of the checklists to look out for in finding your purpose?
Yes, I'm so happy that you asked that question, actually. First things first, purpose is not for you.
Okay.
Purpose is for you to serve others. Purpose is for the advancement of humanity. So we are all here to help each other and to leave this earth better than we found it. So if you think you found your purpose, but it only serves you, then I will need you to reevaluate, because it's always about serving other people. And then secondly, in terms of guidelines, I think we actually make it a lot more complicated than it really is. Whenever I talk to people about this, I always start with the simple, basic question: what are you passionate about? What is that issue that whenever it comes up, you just have to speak up? For some people, that's the issue of racism. For some people, that's abuse, that's poverty. But whatever that issue is, it calls to you, it speaks to you. You can feel it rising within you that I have to do something about this. That already is a clue as to who you're called to serve. And then secondly, what are your strengths? What are you actually good at? You'd be surprised at how many people do not actually really know what they're good at. For me, I've always been great at talking. I can keep it up for all England. And now I use that. I use my voice as a speaker, even being on here. That's just me talking. But now it's not just aimless talking. I'm speaking with a message. I'm speaking with a purpose.
Yeah.
So even a simple say you're greeted, sometimes you don't even notice your own greatness. And sometimes that's actually why it's great to have other people that can truly shed the light on your own greatness and support you on that journey. One of the things that my loved ones taught me was that I'm an encourager. It just came naturally to me to just encourage people. In fact, I remember one of my housemates got annoyed. She would come to me and complain, and then she would say, "No, I don't want to hear how you're going to flip this and turn it into a positive thing. Let me be mad." And so it just was natural to me to be positive. For some people, it's not. So that already tells you that actually I'm called to encourage others, and I'm called to speak life over others, and I'm passionate about child abuse, being that I've gone through it myself. So then you start connecting the dots together, and that's how you can also begin to follow those guidelines and mapping out what your purpose might be. But also actually look at your life experiences. That they will tell you a lot. Normally what people go through is then what they help others overcome.
Wow. Okay. Right. Is there anything you would like to say about fiber? I think you've just said so much in a nutshell. Is there any other examples that you can give us in finding a purpose?
I would say, first and foremost, understand that if you don't know the value of something, you will abuse it. If you don't know the purpose of something, you will abuse it. If I look at paracetamol and I don't realize that actually it's just to heal my headache or my stomach ache, I don't actually realize its full purpose, I will overdose on it. And if you look at yourself and you don't understand your value, you don't understand why you're here, you will abuse yourself. So that looks like self-harming, overeating, that looks like addictions and things like that. So I would say actually the first thing before you even get to trying to find out what your purpose is, first figure out your identity. Because even if you find purpose without a solid identity and foundation of who you are, you will struggle while trying to serve other people. And I know that for Amma, actually, I know that starting an organization was very, very important to have because it brings in other people as well. Another thing is that you need a support system. There's nowhere to do purpose all by yourself. You need a support system. So the other day I was speaking to the director of Amma Cares, and I didn't even realize that she had a director. But then it just shows you that the intact support system that she actually has, which is able to keep Amma Cares running smoothly as it does. So I'll definitely say a support system. And I would also say another thing is try out things. Try it out, even if you're not sure. Try it. Maybe you think you're called to speak, try it. You think you're called to act, try it. You think you're called to singing, try it. A lot of the things, we just need to try them out and then see how we go. And then if we're seeing actually this is not connecting well, this is not really fulfilling the vision that I have or what I feel I'm called to, then you can drop it. But at least you know that you've tried it and you've given it your all. Then it kind of becomes like an elimination process essentially.
Okay, so you see your final your last sentence, we keep on trying, and a lot of people tend to give up so easily. They get to a certain point and they go like, I can't do this anymore. Now when you get to that point, how do you gather the strength to get to your purpose? I'm just wondering.
Yes, that is exactly.
Let's even in connection to abuse whatsoever. It's like you don't have that strength anymore. How do you carry on?
And Vicky, you're asking all the right questions. I'm so happy. That is exactly where a strong support system comes in. I always say you're only as strong as your support system. I'm going to say that one again because I feel like somebody needs to hear that one.
Exactly.
You are only as strong as your support system. It is impossible to do life and overcome life's battles all by yourself. See, every time I speak to Amma and she's giving me life, I'm just really encouraged. Even when I think I've done bad, she's encouraging me and giving me strength. And I'm like, wow, thank you. I didn't see it from that perspective. Whenever I go to my church family and they're praying for me, and it just shows me, oh my gosh, there are actually people that believe in me. They think I'm worth even praying for. And that is encouraging. Then I have my parents who are telling me, you are actually great at what you do. We wish more people could see how good you are. So you see, you keep drawing strength from all of these people that are encouraging and empowering you and pointing out your greatness at different points in time. That is the only way to find strength.
Because you know what? You see the way you're saying it, it sounds so easy. But when you get to that point, you feel like people are going to judge you, criticize you for being a failure, not being able to reach your purpose. So you try to block yourself. You don't want anybody to know your business, but within you, you are stuck.
Yes. And the truth about it is that is life. Not everyone is going to go with you. Not everyone is even meant to go with you wherever you are going. So you just need to accept that you're not called to everyone, and not everyone is called to you. And I just even want to be real transparent with you. When I shared how my father had sexually abused me, out of all the people that knew, and believe me, there were many of them, only about 5 adults, and I was a teenager at the time, only about 5 adults actually stood and fought with me. Not everybody is strong enough to handle your vulnerability, just the 5.
Wow.
But the crazy thing about it is, those people were exactly the people I needed. So the ones that are meant for you will remain in your life. And just bear in mind that not everybody is strong enough to handle your vulnerability, and not everybody is strong enough to handle the greatness that is on the inside of you. But you still have to keep going, because your life matters, 1. And 2, there are other people that are relying on you and your story and what you bring to the table for them to also step into the fullness of who they were created to be. So you have to realize that there are other people's lives at stake here. On top of your life being important, other people's lives are important as well. So you have to keep pushing, keep speaking, keep going until you find those 2, 3, 5 people that will stand with you and fight with you.
Wonderful. We will go to legacy. What is legacy?
Yes, something I've really been thinking about lately, especially with the passing of our great Black Panther Chadwick Boseman.
Oh yeah.
For me, when I'm quite simply, if I can answer that with a question,
exactly.
What do you want to be remembered for?
Exactly.
That is what legacy is. What will your children's children be told about who you were, about the woman that you were, the man that you were, about how you served and loved other people? What stories will your great-grandchildren be hearing about you?
Yeah.
What are you leaving to them? What would their inheritance be after you passed away? We can see with Chadwick Boseman, so much love from all corners of the earth was just showed for him. That can just tell you how a great person he was, and not even just us, the fans that barely know him, but even the people that were close to him. They had nothing but great things to say. And also, actually, whenever I think of legacy, I think of the former president of Zimbabwe, my country, Mr. Robert
Mugabe.
Yes, I had to mention him. Yes, you see, when we gained our independence in 1980, he was a great champion for that. I always hear people telling me that Zimbabwe was the best place to be at in Africa. People were coming all over for education because that's how great Mugabe had made the country. But now fast forward 30, 40 years later, what is his legacy now? We all remember him for the dictator that he was, the one who actually ruined our country, the one who left it in poverty and in shambles, and now the country is struggling to pick itself up. So legacy is not just about how do you start, it's mainly really about how do you finish. Mugabe started great, but look at how he finished.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You are right. You are right. Yes, Sasanda, talking about legacy, like the way we started with finding purpose. What do you have to do to be assured that, look, when it's time for me to depart this world, I will leave a very good legacy? The other thing I wanted to ask as well is, even when you are alive, people will still give a very good account of how you were. What do you say about this? How
Yes,
do you,
yes.
how can you be assured that the life I'm leading, what I'm doing, my, my volunteering spirit, inspiration, how I inspire others, all these things to guarantee that you will have a very good legacy?
Yes. To be honest, once you know your purpose, you remain committed to that mission. As long as you remain committed to the mission and you know on clear terms, it's okay to not have the full picture. For example, I don't know how I'll be living out this purpose 10 years from now, but I am solid on what the purpose is. So if I have a conversation with you and perhaps we're talking about what you've been going through, what you haven't overcome yet, and I just help you to see that actually you can overcome by doing this, you can overcome by doing that. That conversation in itself, one on one, is already me living out my purpose. And the next time you come to me and you tell me, actually, I tried what you said, and then it just shows you actually what I'm doing is effective. But I think even just outside of speaking to other people, I think it's also important what your family says about you, what your
About
loved
you.
ones, the ones close to you say about you, because a lot of people they find success out there, but there's no success, no peace in their home. So a legacy is not even just part of what will the world say about me? It's what will your children say about you?
Oh, okay.
What will your siblings say about you as well?
Because you know what, talking about these things, I'm just taking my mind back to when people pass on and their life on earth is being read out. A lot of times you realize that outside the home, outside the person's personal life, people saw him to have a very good legacy. But when you look at how the children, the spouse, relatives felt about this person, is totally opposite. Why is that? Do we want to impress those out there instead of making sure that our children and all those close to us will be proud of us when we get to that point? Everybody, oh, that person did this, was a good father, was this. But it looks like they are more interested in pleasing the world instead of those very close to them.
I think you're right when you said we're focused on impressing other people, because other people out there, they don't really know us like that. They don't see our flaws, they don't see our shortcomings. So it's easier for them to praise us. And of course, we feed on that praise and we feel even more greater. But then when you come home and you have your wife who knows your flaws, who is telling you you're failing here, and your children that are telling you, Dad, Mom, this happened, but you went there and you're missing all of those things. Essentially, they are reminding you of your shortcomings. So then it just becomes easier to please other people that don't remind you of your shortcomings. But I love something that one of my friends, Mayfair Ann, she said that actually your legacy is being built every day.
Oh.
We tend to catastrophize it, but actually what you're doing today builds on top of what you will do tomorrow and the next day and the next day. What you do daily is essentially what your legacy will be. So we are focused on the great picture instead of focusing on today. How could I serve today? How could I be more loving today? How could I even love my children before I go and love the rest of the world today? Am I
of our viewers? Then we'll take a short break and we'll come back. This person is asking, to for people to give you a very good, say very good things about you, should one, be of service to humanity?
So I want to answer that in two parts. One, purpose is all about being of service to humanity.
Okay.
So if you're doing that, you're on the right track. However, if it's all about people saying nice things about you, then we're not so great. I mentioned earlier that your identity needs to be secure, otherwise you can live out your purpose, but you won't be as influential and as impactful.
Okay.
That's where that comes in. Being solid in who you are and your identity, investing in yourself, making sure that you're bringing your absolute best to the table in service to other people, such that even when you don't get the praise, you can still leave and say, I did my best. I was committed to the mission and I served. Sometimes other people's reactions and opinions are none of your business, because as much as people want truth, sometimes they just can't handle it. And then it doesn't become your fault that they didn't handle the truth well. It doesn't become your fault that they didn't react so well or that they didn't praise you. As long as you invest in yourself and you make sure you're bringing your A game to the table, you'll be fine.
Wonderful. On that note, Sandra, stay there, don't go away. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back to take more questions from you. See you.
We are a global organization, and the mission is that we can raise awareness so that you don't become victims of any form of sexual abuse.
Globally, about 19.7% of girls, 19.7% of girls are sexually abused.
Child sexual abuse is when any adult touches you inappropriately.
Is it direct or indirect?
The sentence was fondling the child's breast.
She said because she did not report it, it continued.
You bleed. Sometimes you bleed. Sometimes there are discharges that comes out.
When the person who access to the school, what you have to do, don't take your bath. Don't shower.
Once you can bath yourself, your private parts are for you only.
So people who say now, and suddenly a two-and-one. They say, man,
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Heritage TV, your very own station, hanging out with Vicky. We were talking about finding purpose, legacy, and power. We have a representative from Ama Cares organization, and she is in the person of Mrs. Sisanda CJ. Hi, Sisanda. Hey!
Oh, there we go.
yeah.
Hi.
You know, when we went on the break, I had one viewer send a message saying that she would like you to come back, because this is not what we're discussing, about your experiences when you were sexually abused, what the signs were, things like that, because she was listening to you carefully, and in your introduction you did mention something like that. So she would love you to probably come on again to talk about this and what signs one should look out for when for you to avoid being sexually abused. So that is what the viewer has asked me to pass on to you.
Oh, thank you so
I don't know
much.
whether we can infuse it with this. You can tell her briefly in a summary, or we should go to, because we've already treated purpose.
It'd be great to touch on power a bit, but first I just want to say to the viewer, Thank you very, very much. That means a lot. I also just want to mention specifically Amakez. I wanted to speak to Amakez and see how we can make this happen again.
Okay. What does it entail for for people to see you as powerful? Or
I think first and foremost, I always have to go back to identity, because I believe the crisis of our generation is that we lack identity. We are looking at different things to define who we are at our core and who we are as a person, whether that is social media, whether that is the amount of money we have or don't even have in our bank account, or it's what our family values and all of those things. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
So I think it's about taking stock.
Earthquake.
Thank God I can say it's not. So it's really just taking stock about first what defines who you are, and are those things healthy and beneficial to defining your identity. And then as you discover your identity, you begin to build your confidence, because a strong identity brings confidence. So as you build your confidence, you start walking more in power naturally. It might be a bit more difficult in the beginning, especially if you have low self-esteem, but as you work on it, you will start walking in power. And another thing that makes you powerful, I know that people always say knowledge is key. I agree with that to an extent. Wisdom is key, because knowledge not applied is useless. However, knowledge applied equals wisdom, which makes you powerful. So when you invest in yourself, in your health, in your mindset, in your education, in your business, all of those things, they are feeding you emotionally, spiritually, mentally. Invest in all parts of yourself. And the more you invest in yourself, the more you know, the more you apply what you know, the more you become powerful, the more people can actually trust your voice. But also, to add on to that, your character speaks for you before your work does. Because even if your work is great, but you're a person who lacks integrity, a person that cannot be relied upon and things like that, then people will not even want to work with you. People will not even believe in your message and what you bring to the table.
Okay, great. Okay. I've got a viewer who is also saying to be powerful, do you have to show your anger? Let people know that they can't, trample over you, like you are not that soft. So if there's anything and you have to show your anger, you just let people know that I'm not happy about this, I'm upset about that. Or do you have to try and cover it up, be nice? That's what the viewer is asking.
Great question. I think this is especially a problem with boys and men, because aggression is seen as power, isn't it, for them? But actually, it's really easy to go off. It's very easy to just be angry and pop off and break plates. And it's also very easy to run away and hide and pretend that nothing has happened or nothing is affecting you. What takes real strength is actually being vulnerable and being open. So you are actually at your strongest when you're being vulnerable. And vulnerability doesn't break other people. Vulnerability doesn't cast off other people. Rather, vulnerability is gentle, and it says, listen, when you did this, it hurt me like this. I understand your intention. However, I received it like this. Can we talk about it? And then you have a mature conversation and you explain to each other where you're both coming from, and you see how you move forward. That's a much healthier, much calmer way of sorting out things. Being angry doesn't really get you anywhere. Okay, you've expressed your anger, but you haven't dealt with the issue. So now what?
Yeah. Sisanda, I think we've getting to the end of the show. What are some of the boundaries? I think that's my last question to you, that we should have. Boundaries.
Boundaries in life in general, or in terms of purpose?
Yeah.
Wow, I like this question. Oh my gosh, you're bringing
And
the
I knew you
heat,
do
Vicky.
justice to that. That was why that was. I
Yeah.
just left that for the last bit.
I like that. I'm actually learning about boundaries myself,
Oh
just because being
wow.
an
Okay.
abusive survivor, because somebody else broke your boundaries, so then I kind of just went live not without boundaries because my boundaries essentially did not mean anything.
Mm.
So now I'm actually in the process of relearning those things. And for me currently, that looks like not replying everyone instantly every single time, being away from my phone. Sometimes not being apologetic for the fact that I took 24 hours to reply you
Mm.
because I need time. I sometimes I just need to do my own thing. Sometimes I just need to be with my family. Sometimes I just need to be with me and God, and that's it. So essentially, drawing a line in terms of the access that people have to you. I remember there was somebody I was coaching, and her friends could call her at any moment of the day, whether it was 2 a.m., 3 a.m. They were always calling her all the time because she was always available. Now, it's great to be available, especially when your friends or your loved ones are going through tough times. But it's not great to be available every single time because the more access people have at you, the more of your energy they're taking out
Okay.
of you than you have left for yourself.
Okay. Wonderful.
And another thing I would say, just to relate it to, like I said, I'm learning myself, is in friendship. So I used to call anybody my friend, really. Like, I've known you for 24 hours. Oh, yeah, that's my friend. But now being very clear on who actually is my friend. If I can't call you and talk to you about certain topics, then I'm putting you in the acquaintance box. And when I introduce you, I won't say, oh yeah, this is my friend. I'll either just be straight up and say, yeah, this is one of my acquaintances, or I'll just won't mention the relationship. But essentially, it's just drawing a line for me to be able to understand
Okay.
who can I give my energy to. And when you give people the correct titles and labels in your life, then it then shows you, okay, this one I can give more energy to than this one.
Yeah.
My siblings right now, they're coming first before anybody else. Actually, this is a real true friend. She's been there for me through tough times. So in this particular time when she's going through stuff, I am going to be there no matter what time it is.
Mm. Mm. Well, you've done justice to it. Susanda, your last words for us to wrap up. Contact details if anyone wants to get in touch with Amma Cares, any advice,
Yeah.
please give us some
Yes.
details for the benefit of those
So
watching.
of course,
Then we round up.
yeah.
the
So
show.
of course, sorry.
It's okay. Okay.
Amma Cares is an organization that advocates against child sex abuse. Their website is ammacares.org, and you can email them at info@ammacares.org. Their social media is Amma Cares. You can go on their website to find out a lot more information about what they do and how they can be of service to you. And thank you so much to Amma Cares for having me, because I'm only here because of my partnership with them. And as for me, you can find me on my website, which is refined8.com, and that is the word 8. And social media is Refined8. That is the name of my business, Refined8. I just want to leave you with this thought, that not only are you destined for greatness, you are greatness. So make sure that this world does not go on without ever knowing your greatness.
Wow.
Thank you so much,
Wow.
Vicky and Heritage,
Wow.
for having me.
Wow. Wow. Susanda, you are the best. Thank you so much. As usual, we've been impacted. You've taught us so much. You've opened our minds. We've taken so much from what we've discussed today. I will also pass on to others as well. Ladies and gentlemen, so there you are, our guest, Susanda CJ, one of the partners of Amma Cares organization. She's with us discussing finding purpose, legacy, and power. We hope to see a representative from Amma Cares again. If it's not Susanda, it will be another seasoned representative to come back and also take us through some of the touching issues related to the dreams and aspirations, the purpose of Amake organizations. Thank you so much. I also want to take this opportunity to send my regards to Ama herself. She's doing a very great job. We at Heritage TV are going to give her all our support as well for her to achieve that goal that she set for herself and her team. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. We'll come your way next week again with a very interesting topic and discussion. Take care and stay safe.
And the mission is that we can raise awareness so that you don't become victims of any form of sexual abuse.
Globally, about 19.7% of girls, 19.7% of girls are sexually abused.
Child sexual abuse is when any adult touches you inappropriately.
Is it direct or indirect?
Innocent as was fondling the child's breast.
She said because she did not report it, it continued.
Investors and tenants. Our mission is to ethically and honestly serve our clients. We won't make promises we cannot keep, rather. We present